Okay, today we're in the studio, and today we are joined by a great singer and performer, Adrian Fogelin. How you doing, Adrian?
I'm just fine.
First question for you. Are you from Tallahassee?
No, I'm from New Jersey.
Jersey. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, what exit?
8A, you know.
All right. Okay. And like I told you earlier, John, is that if you know what exit somebody's from in Jersey on the Garden State Parkway, you know everything about their life. Well, was anybody in your family a musician? What got you interested in music?
Well, my grandfather and his brothers immigrated from Sweden, and they had a dance band when they got to Congers, New York, which was a tiny Swedish community. And they would play, you know, the fire hall and that kind of thing. And when he passed away, his guitar just sat in the corner. And I decided I needed to learn how to play it, so I took it home.
Wow.
And tried to play House of the Rising Sun. That was my main goal. I still can't.
You still? Oh my gosh! I got it. We'll have to work on it with you because I just played that one last night. It's one of my favorite all-time songs.
I know. The guitar part is great.
Oh wow! So did you spend most of your young life in New Jersey, or?
Yes, I grew up in New Jersey and moved to Rhode Island for college.
Okay.
So yeah, Jersey all the way.
In that whole high school, junior high, was there any time you were involved in music?
Oh, like crazy. Like crazy. When I decided I wanted to play guitar, my mother finally took pity on me and got me some lessons. And I went into the music store and I began trying to sing and play. And as soon as I began singing, the guy who was teaching me said, I got this band I want to put you in.
Oh.
And you can sing. Okay, we'll do that. And it was an all-guy band.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing they wanted was a girl.
Oh.
They were like, it was called the Other Four because one guy had left. They were not thrilled, but my sister fixed that. She had some friends who had a band, and she said, you got to come hear my sister sing.
Oh.
So they came home with her one day, and we sat out on the back patio, and they played, and I sang, and they left going, she got to sing everything. We're not going to sing anymore. We're just going to let her sing. So
Yeah.
they had a band that quickly became Half Price Paradise, which was the first band that I was ever in.
Oh.
And we were like the hippie band
Mm-hmm.
in a world where everyone else was, preppy. And we went into battle with the bands and we played, and man, did we get creamed by those other guys.
Wow.
Because we were just like, we were a different kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But the next year we came back and we won.
Well, what kind of music were you playing?
We were playing covers. We were playing, Jefferson Airplane, a lot of Jefferson Airplane. Just about wrecked my voice doing Grace Slick.
Ah, okay. Wow.
Yeah, you can't push your voice like that
Not for a long
and
time.
not suffer. Yeah.
No. I think even John Lennon said he'll do that one song, but only at the end of the night because it blew his pipes out when he did it.
It does. But man, it's fun while you're doing it.
Oh God, the emotional high you get. That's one of the reasons I like doing Joe Cocker stuff, because to me it's an emotional high.
Do you roll your eyes up in your head?
No, but I try to get my hands up.
Okay. That was a good impression.
So what brought you to Florida?
Let's see. From New Jersey, I went to Rhode Island and got an art degree from Rhode Island School of Design.
Wow.
Moved to Baltimore and got a job as the illustrator at the Baltimore Zoo.
Wow.
And
It's pretty cool.
married the photographer.
Uh-huh.
And we reached a point where we just wanted to try something new. So we moved to the Keys, lived aboard a boat for a number of years. He became a commercial fisherman. I was part of a duo there.
Mm-hmm.
The music has always just kind of traveled along,
It's part of your life.
I was in a
Yeah.
duo in Providence also, so it's just kind of, but my favorite one is the one I'm in now.
Yeah. Well, I find that to be true. Your life changes as you go through the journey, but the thing that stayed with me my whole life is music. No matter what my situation was, still playing music.
I had kind of a hiatus where I didn't do a lot, so meeting Craig was a real lifesaver. He reminded me that this is important.
Oh, okay. Okay. I can identify with that. I mean, not to tell stories about personal life, but I got divorced, and when I got divorced, my life crashed in. And I basically put the guitar in the closet and didn't play for a long time. And then something happened 4 or 5 years later that was a catalyst. Somebody wanted to learn to play, and I thought, well, I can teach you. So I pulled the cases out of the closet, and that was it.
Well, I put my guitar in the closet in the liveaboard boat, and the last thing you want to do with the guitar is store it on a boat.
Yeah, dampness.
It warped. It was terrible.
Mm-hmm. But you lived the life in Key West.
No, Upper Keys, Keys. And we lived at what was a kind of bar and hotel situation. So there were a lot of people who played. We'd sit out,
I know
and
the
play.
place. Is that...
It's called Smuggler's Cove.
Oh, okay. I was thinking Alamorada. Okay.
It's in Alamorada. It's right at Snake Creek, right where the bridge is.
Yeah.
And we'd play at night. It was really fun.
Oh, okay. I stopped in there one time, and apparently it was like the National Bartenders Convention, and the place was just jammed and rocking.
That place was... We had a little daughter at that time, and they would do things like bring the women from a strip joint down to relax. And you may not believe this, but women who relax from stripping strip. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Like with our daughter, let's get back to the boat.
Yeah, I could tell you stories about going to the Atlantic Bar down on the boardwalk on Key West, but another day.
Another day. Different interview.
So any place you played in Key West that we might know?
We were only jamming at that time.
Mm-hmm.
The duo that I was in then was with the guy who ran the community college, and he was recording a space opera. So I was the harmony on the space opera.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know, I'm trying to vision something here. Either 2001 or Pink Floyd, one of the two.
I don't even remember the music. I just remembered I loved being there singing.
Yeah. You can lose yourself. I guess what makes Pink Floyd so great. You can just lose yourself completely in the moment.
And there's something about singing harmony that is so exhilarating. For me, much better than singing lead.
Do you find it's easier to sing harmony with like bluegrass or country music than it is rock and roll and pop?
I kind of find harmony easy with anything.
Do you? Okay.
I sing harmony with the washing machine.
Well, the reason I asked you the question is because I can be listening to bluegrass or country, but more bluegrass, and they can be singing, and I can hit harmony just like that.
Yes.
Because the singing is so pure and clear. But when I'm trying to find harmony on a pop song or a rock and roll, I feel like I'm chasing the note around, Whereas in bluegrass, it's like, the note is sharp and clear,
I don't know. I just find it that the harmony just appears.
It's just natural to you.
And it didn't when I first started, but when I was in that band, Half Price Paradise, the drummer, Milo, had been in the Columbus Boys Choir.
Wow.
He had a fabulous voice, and he got kicked out because his voice changed and it became low. But
dropped an octave.
He taught me the principles of harmony, and as soon as I got them, they all made sense.
Well, we'll take that off camera or whatever, because I'd like to know what those principles are. I know 3 and 5 in my head.
I've totally forgotten them, but I can just hear where the harmony should go.
Yeah.
There's just something. It's like a river, and you add your voice to that river.
And it's just very natural for you.
Completely.
And that's a gift.
Completely.
It's just a gift.
They do fantastic harmony together.
Well, I mention here real quick, we have John Owens in the studio. He's the producer of this show, so you may hear him pipe in from time to time.
He doesn't have a mic, but you'll hear him.
Well, we don't give him a mic,
Yeah, somebody took my mic.
Yeah, you never know what he's going to say, so be careful. I need a button. But how did you get from the Keys up to Tallahassee? Was there a progressive move, or?
We had a daughter. The Keys is not the place to raise a teen.
Mm-hmm.
It's too wide open, and she said, let's get out of here.
Really?
And so we came up here. My husband had a sister who lived here, and we went to sail school.
Yeah.
Signed her in that we wanted her to be here. We moved up here. We went to put her in sail, and they looked at the list. They said, she's number 500 on this list.
Wow.
And we said, we moved here so she could go to sail. And Rosemary Wood, is that right? Rose, is that right? The principal took her name and put it on the top of the list.
Oh my gosh.
She said, well then, okay.
Well, it's just I have the authority to do what's right.
I know. And it was wonderful. It was
Good.
wonderful. It was good for all of us, actually, but that's what got us out was, oh my gosh.
Okay, see.
She's going off the rails.
Well, that's the first thing that blows my mind is the child comes to you and says, hey, this is too much going on here.
She said, and we said, we'll leave. And she said, you got to promise that we're going to leave. We said,
Wow.
we're going to leave.
Wow. Okay.
And we did. And it worked very well. She went to FSU, went on and got a PhD. She did great.
Oh my gosh, doctor daughter.
Doctor daughter.
Can I ask what she got her doctorate in?
Yes, public policy.
Okay. Well, as long as it wasn't psychology. I meet these people with PhDs in psychology, and I go, I better shut up. They're going to figure me out.
Don't say anything.
Yeah, don't say that. They'll pigeonhole you.
Right.
Well, let's take a look at, if we can, at some slides that you brought with us to
sure.
share. Who is this young girl?
This is me playing the guitar that followed my grandfather's guitar because the action was so bad. So I saved up babysitting money, which was my only way I made money in those days. And my boyfriend and I went down to New York, down to Music Row, and we bought a guitar for me.
Now, you didn't go to the store, did you? That's in New York. Is it Manny's or something like
Manny's,
that?
yeah. And we went all around, too. We went to a lot of different places. I don't remember exactly where we got it, but it took all my babysitting money for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't play it in the band. I was the singer in the band.
Well, what kind of guitar is it? Nylon string, looks like?
No,
Gut
I
string?
think, no, all my strings were
Steel?
steel.
Oh, okay.
I think
Because they're pretty well spaced apart. The reason I thought they were catgut, you know.
I think that's the Guild. And I haven't had a huge number of guitars. The only guitar I totally disowned was I had an electric guitar. That was terrible. Acoustic guitars have always been way better for me.
Well, yeah. Well, that's interesting because usually electric, it's real easy to make a chord.
But I just like the tone of an acoustic guitar.
Okay. Who is this young lady?
That's me in Half Price Paradise. And then we were that band for a couple of years. And then this older guy joined us with long black hair, Dennis Claggett. And we changed, this is the worst band name ever. We changed the band to King Snail.
King Snail, not King Snake, King Snail.
King Snail. We had a song where he would strut and he would sing, I am King Snail. It was, yeah. We had two drummers. We were the loudest band. It was ridiculous.
Oh, my gosh. Now, is this in Jersey, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Now, let's take this looks like something here. You were talking about the instruments that you had, and I see your electric guitar over there.
Those are actually Chris Ash's instruments. We were recording at his house. That's Chris.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I'm laughing, but could be whatever we recorded.
Sometimes you hear playbacks of yourself and you think, my God, what was I thinking?
Well, also, it's very strange to hear yourself because you don't really know what you sound like.
Oh, I hate it.
I often do, too.
Yeah, I mean, we were watching YouTube this morning because I uploaded a bunch of stuff from the gig last night and put it on YouTube just for the other guys in the band. It's raw footage.
Yeah.
So they can all go out there and look at it. And, you learn, right? And after a while, I told Susan, I said, I can't watch this any longer. I can't stand looking at myself.
I know. And hearing yourself, because you don't sound like you think you sound.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Every now and then, like once in every 30 times, you get really happily surprised. You go, whoa, I sound okay.
Who we got here now?
That's us very early when we were first playing together. We're at the Salty Dog. We were, you sign up and
Yeah.
and they had a cadre of people who always played and they always came first. So we would wait and we would wait.
Yeah.
And sometime around midnight we'd get up and play a song.
I have known Wayne for probably 25, 30 years. Not because I lived here, but I used to come here to visit my aunts and two aunts, my mom and dad, and my brother lived here. So I would come visit. And every time I would come visit, I'd stop Friday night at the Paradise before I went to see them. And Wayne's band was like always, Wayne's World was always playing there. So I'd always sit in and do it. So when I moved here, he said, I've got this first Sunday of the month gig, going. You just come in and hang out and we'll play. Well, I show up and there's this chalkboard with, 30 names on it.
Yes.
I go, I'm not going to be able to play. So I've really never been back, to tell you the truth.
We hung on for a while. We played there a few times, a little bit.
Oh, I see a lot of people I know play there.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there going, either I got to get here at 4:30 in the afternoon, and I'll be hammered by the time I get on.
And a lot of people sort of have a permanent spot on the list, I think.
There was a guy that I play violin with periodically, Bo Lawrence. I see him there all the time, and all the pictures I'll see Bo, because there's like a little house band,
Mm-hmm.
and he's the only one I really know. Who is this people?
That's us.
Oh.
This is one of the things that we always do. We have shakers for the kids, and we have played lots of gigs for kids too.
Is this in the park, chain of parks downtown?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
we were playing for the usual Saturday market.
Oh man, these kids are having a good time. That's for sure.
They're funny. The kids, they grab the shakers and then they look really nervous, like you could do this thing really wrong.
Yeah. Now, I've seen a lot of stuff you play, and I had the feeling that you write music also.
All the time.
All the time?
All the time. Yeah.
Well, you lyricist or
Both.
Both?
Both.
Okay.
And we collaborate a lot. And often I say that I give Craig, if I start the song, a pencil sketch, and he hands me back a oil painting, because he does so much with the instruments and harmonies, and he really
Wow.
improves whatever I do.
Have you been writing since you were a child?
Oh,
or
I've been
young?
writing since I was probably about 15.
Okay, now, are you like Stevie Nicks? Do you have these volumes of books?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
Well, that's cool, though, because you can always reference back.
Hmm. The thing about songwriting for me is I don't even feel like I songwrite. I feel like they exist. And if I sit down with the guitar, it's like, I always feel like it's above me. I open a hatch and the song comes down.
You channel the song.
It's very quick.
Yeah.
Songwriting's very quick for me.
Yeah.
And it's not analytical and it's not intellectual. The song is just there.
Just like writing poetry for you.
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
Okay.
I
Now-
can always tell I've got a song because a phrase will like hook me. And then I go, okay, at the end of this line, there's a song.
Okay, so you start with the hook, or do you start, with the story?
I start playing and a line comes. It's all intuitive. My brain is in the off position.
Yeah. Well, I hear somebody say something, there's some quirky thing, and I go, well, there's a song in that.
Yeah, you're right.
It's usually the hook, and then you got to back up and backfill the whole thing.
And then you figure out what the story is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Tell us about this. This looks like you're doing some recording.
That's Frank Lindemood playing banjo there.
This is in Tallahassee now?
Mhm. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. And I forget what we were recording. But every now and then we bring in someone else, like Holly Riley on the fiddle. I mean, there's some fabulous musicians here.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, man.
A lot of competition.
And I'm not going to say any names because I know a gentleman in town who's a professional musician. And it's one of his complaints was always it's hard to get a good paying gig because there's so many people that play for free.
I know.
You know?
We're guilty of that also.
Well, and me too. If it's the right thing,
Yeah.
if it's a charitable event or something, I'll play for free. But
Oh, this is my other life. I write books.
really,
Yeah, I
an
have
author.
books for middle grade readers, so they're for kids.
Oh.
And I have 9 published books, and the one that you see in the front, Crossing Jordan, that little pinkish one in the front, was just put on as a very good play by the Young Actors Theater.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm impressed. Now you're not only a musician but a published author.
That's
Excellent.
my day job.
It's your day job?
That and editing other people's books. I do a lot of editing.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm familiar with that. I have an aunt who constantly, she's 96 and she's still editing.
You can do that till you're blind.
Well, and she has a tablet, that blows everything up. So apparently you can be partially blind.
Yes. One of the people I'm editing right now is almost blind, and so I have to send everything back to her in 18-point type so she can see it.
Oh, really? A double space or triple space?
Huge.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It works.
Yeah, I've always wanted to write a book, not to digress, but,
You
Susan,
should do it.
Susan's sister has this little dog, and the dog has passed on now. But the dog was the last dog in the litter, and so it was kind of the runt, and kind of, when it walked, it kind of walked, and it was the cutest little dog in the whole world. And I said, you really ought to do a children's book about this, I can't remember the name's dog, and it was like, we'll say it's Lucy, Lucy goes to the store, or Lucy goes the first day of school. And I thought it'd be fantastic, but consequently, it's the idea that fell on the floor, right?
Along with a lot of others.
Yeah. What do we have here? I recognize.
That's Evan Jones playing cello. Craig actually wrote a song called Lemoyne to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Lemoyne.
Oh, okay.
And it really needed some more class than we could give it, so he played cello.
All right. You edit books during the daytime. I'm sorry, I had to back up just because that impresses me to no end. I mean, that's...
And I love it. It's like, it's teaching. And I've done a lot of teaching. I've taught a lot of art classes, taught a lot of writing classes. Editing is teaching.
I still have trouble with the commas. I follow the British philosophy, which says when you take a breath,
put in a comma. The Oxford comma. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. And the other one I have trouble with is the semicolon.
Oh, yes. That is a big decision.
Versus
the dash. Versus the comma.
You know, when I was in school, actually, when I was in college, you know, first thing you do when you get to college, I think some of us anyways, is take an English writing school class, you know, because we don't know how to write. And I remember they kept drumming in my head, it was semicolon, however, comma. And then I have somebody edit my stuff who went to like a good Catholic school or something, you know, and they go, that's wrong. And I'm thinking, well, okay. So to this day,
it's up for grabs, I think.
I don't know who's right. You know, that's the sad thing.
And how do we decide what is right in that case?
I don't know. I guess it's like whatever the most prevalent thing in town is, you know.
And it changes with time.
I have a good friend of mine lives in southern Florida, and he's Portuguese. And his father was the Portuguese governor of Mozambique, and we're the exact same age. And I'm going somewhere with this story. I know it. Oh, I know what it was. So
just don't walk out of the room to figure it out.
So Mozambique got its independence, and he and his family got on a jet and left town. You know, the day the independence came, everybody from Portugal that was Portuguese heritage took off, and they went to Portugal, and there was no jobs, so they flew to Brazil, largest speaking Portuguese population on the planet, and so he was teaching me Portuguese, and he said, he told me to say bom dia. And so I'd always say bom dia, you know, and then I heard something they said was bom dia. I said, in Portugal, they say bom dia, but you're telling me Brazil says bom dia. And he says, how many people are in Portugal? And I said, about 12 million. How many people are in Brazil? I said, about 65 million. Which one do you think's right? So it's wherever you are is what's right. I think that was his point.
And he's right.
What's going on here?
That's us holding up what we call the last CD. It's called Veteran Hearts, Songs from Further Down the Road. And it's songs written from the point of view of someone who's a bit older, kind of looking back. But the other thing is that we know that the CD is going extinct. And the thing that bothers us about that is not the change of, media, but the fact that songs put together in a certain order is dying. You know, that collective picture that a CD or an LP.
Elaborate on that, if you would, because I've heard this, and I watch a lot of interviews, and I hear so many guys saying that it was a theme album. And they started having theme albums, in the 60s, and I'm like, well, what in the world does that mean?
Well, in this case, these are all songs that reflect the way you think when you get a little older. And they're ordered in a certain way so that they give you a, kind of a story, kind of an overall impression. Well, if you break it apart and you only listen to one song and then one song, you never get that overall feeling from it. Think about the big classic, the White Album. Think about the albums that they have to be an album. They're not just one song.
Yeah.
And so we're regretting that's disappearing.
And they're all different genres either. They're all in the same.
There's variety, but yes, they work together. There are even two songs about singing on the sidewalk, about being that guy with the guitar case open that people walk past.
Oh yeah, what do they call that?
Busking.
Busking.
We met busking. That's how we met.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Craig was busking. I was helping my friend Nancy sell her pottery at the downtown market, and he'd come many weeks. I kept thinking, that guy needs harmony. But I felt embarrassed to walk up and just, start singing harmony.
Well, aren't you glad you did?
Super glad I did.
Yeah.
Super glad. One of the best dumb moves I ever made.
No, I'm not going to call it dumb.
You never, well, you never know. You never know what thing is going to turn your life in a different direction.
Yeah.
You know, it's usually the random event, not the I'm going to go to school and learn this. No, it's you walk up to a guy and sing harmony one day.
Yeah, so many things are happen by accident.
Exactly.
You know, as opposed to being planned. A couple things come to mind on that. When you talked about harmony, I remember listening to the story of Crosdale's Nash, you know, how they were singing a song and Graham Nash was listening to it. And he said, all right, say that one more time. And so they played this song one more time, and he threw that high harmony on top of it, and they all went, whoa, you know, this is it.
And Peter, Paul, and Mary were three people kind of brought together by a producer, and from the first song, they sounded like Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, when you talk about writing songs about getting older, or as we mature in life. We don't get older. We just get better.
I think we do get older, but we do get better.
My cousin Skip is a minstrel in Charleston, and that's what he's done since he got out of the Marine Corps in the late 60s, you know, is professional, just travels and plays, you know, travels the whole hotel chain up and down the coast from Charleston down to Savannah and then back up again. But he wrote a song. And I'm just going to give you a real quick scenario of it because I always thought it was great. He graduated high school in a little town in Michigan, and then he went to war. And he was in Vietnam, got a couple of Purple Hearts, came back, became a professional minstrel, was traveling circuit, and then he went back for like his 10th high school reunion. And he said he walked into the gymnasium or wherever it was, and they're all saying, "Hey, Skip, remember this, remember that? Hey, Skip, remember this, remember that?" And he's like, "Yeah, okay, you know, remember Bobby over there? These guys never left town." And so he went back to Charleston. He sat down and wrote a song called "I Can't Get There From Here." He couldn't go back anymore, you know, as I'm not that person. I've changed.
Yeah.
So when you were talking about this album, that came to my mind, you know, and I reflect on that sometimes, you know. I don't know. I've never been back. Well, I shouldn't say. I go back to North Carolina all the time.
I haven't been to any of those high school reunions.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you think when you walked in?
I don't know.
Said, "Who are you people?" I went to my 20th and I walked in. No reason I knew who anybody was. They put a thing,
I was
card.
going to say, they take mercy on you. They wear a label.
Yeah. And well, it had a picture of them too, you know. And I said, I found out if you look them right in the eye, you go, "Yeah, that is you."
You're in there.
Well, let's move on a little bit. Let's see. We got some more pictures you brought with you here today. Who is this young lady?
That's me singing somewhere.
What kind of guitar is that?
Is that Joni? Okay, I'm asking Craig. This is the guitar I had before my current fabulous Gibson. And Craig and I and my husband went out and we looked around like at pawn shops and stuff. But we ended up getting it actually at Music Master's, secondhand guitar.
Okay.
And I was sure this was my last guitar. That I'd be playing this all the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went to teach a writing seminar, and a friend of mine who was supposed to come but couldn't sent me a guitar.
Oh, that's there.
And we opened the back of this vehicle and opened the lid, and I walked away because it was way too good a guitar for me. It was a Gibson Western Classic, number 25 for the year. I mean, it was fabulous guitar. And she said, no, it was my husband's, but he's taking medication and his hands shake too much, and it just makes him feel bad. He opens the closet and there's this guitar he can't play.
Yeah.
So I'm going to send it to you and you play it.
Yeah.
So I have a guitar that's way too good for me.
Wow.
Heavy, big, giant guitar, but I love it.
Sounds great.
Oh, yeah, sounds like a
even
great
if it
guitar.
makes my shoulder hurt, I love this guitar.
Okay. I think I have no idea how many I have, but I have a bunch of them. And the reason I have a bunch of them, everybody goes, "Well, how come you got so many guitars?" I said, because they all feel different. They all sound different. And
you have to play them differently, each
what?
one.
Yeah, absolutely. And
That guitar I was playing in that picture, I passed it to a girl in my neighborhood who was, I think, 13 at the time, who wanted to get started. You know, so someone had given me a fabulous guitar, so I passed my guitar on to Olivia.
Oh, that was nice. You did the right thing.
Well,
Yeah,
she needed
It's hard
one.
to do the right thing sometimes.
Someone really did the right thing for me.
Okay. Look at this. Okay, who is this person?
That's me. We we do a lot of like really showy stuff when we play.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. If vaudeville were still around, we'd be in it.
Vaudevillians.
We'd
I
be
like
playing
that.
the Poconos, we'd be on the Borscht Belt circuit. We would be
Yeah.
telling jokes.
Summer in New York, you know.
Yeah, we would be. We missed our calling by not being born earlier.
Wow.
But anyway, we like to do things that are like shows.
Mm-hmm.
And we hold nothing back. We have no dignity at all.
Well, that's when you express yourself, your real emotions.
Yes.
I mean, and you can't really sing a song well unless you can shed yourself of those inhibitions.
Oh, yeah. And the whole, there are a lot of performers who look really private. They play kind of to the guitar and they sing as if they're unaware that people are listening.
Mm-hmm.
We don't do that.
No.
No,
No.
we sing and we ham it up.
Well, that's good,
Before the pandemic happened, they were playing, about 50 or 60 times a year.
Oh, okay.
Anywhere,
Performances.
anytime.
Yeah.
We have played next to a dunk tank. I mean, we literally have played everywhere.
Well, I tell the guys in the band all the time because we're always practicing dynamics. I said dynamics is the most critical thing to me. You can all be good musicians, but the dynamics is where the emotions are really expressed. You come down and then back up and build up to a crescendo and then back down. That's where the real emotions come in. And it's just like you said, shed yourself of all those inhibitions, get rid of them, and just let the emotion out.
I don't know that we ever had any inhibitions. We have no shame, none. We go between very folky, heartfelt, and very like old time blues. Yeah.
Well, no, I know what you mean by the old time blues stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, not necessarily Delta, but
Yeah.
something feeling, emotional blues. All right, what do we got going on this one?
That's at Cascades.
Yeah, I recognize the
The
backstop.
wall, yeah. Who knows why I'm wearing those pink tights, but
I don't know, but I'm looking at the gentleman behind you with the dressed in all black and the guitar. I'm visualizing a flamenco dancer, and you're supposed to be dancing in front.
we're not that good at that.
If you go to Southern Florida, you see that all the time. Great place down there in Las Olas. There's a guy named Alex Fox plays Spanish guitar, and his wife dances. And so as soon as I saw this picture, I'm thinking, oh, well, that's what that is. Well, who is this?
That's me St. Patrick's Day at the Blue Tavern. At the Blue Tavern. And in fact, Carrie Hamby gave me that scarf.
Well, where is this relative to the Blue Tavern?
We're out back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They never let me out there yet. Never been out back before. Only been inside.
We
you
have
know.
a hard time getting inside sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that's a neat little venue. I've seen
Oh,
a
it's
lot
a
of
great
people.
venue. Yeah.
It's real personable. I couldn't play anything that I played today in the Blue Tavern. I'd have to do a completely different, set list.
Yeah, we've done a couple St. Patrick's Day shows there.
Do you get the Irish accent going?
We get the Irish section going. Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
we do.
Danny
Sure,
boy.
Oh, yes. Oh, we do. Oh, of course we do. Oh, Danny boy. And then I always ask them to pray for me on the high note because there's a high note in that. So can you just say a quick prayer before
I'm
I
going
hit
for the
that
C.
note? Yes.
It's coming.
It's
Everybody
coming.
get
I
ready.
feel it.
Everybody pray for me.
And they must because I often hit it.
Oh yeah. Watch the glasses. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
I'm thinking, is this tablecloth? What is this?
I'm wearing a boa, a feather boa. We have a couple of feather boas, and we've been there because that red boa I found by the roadside on a pile of trash, but it was pretty nice.
One man's junk is another man's gold. Isn't that what they
Yep.
say?
One man gathers,
Yeah,
let
yeah.
another man spills.
I got a guy I work with in my proper job, and every Saturday morning. We starts Thursday afternoon and hits all sales, And I say, Gordon, what are you doing? Are you like, building up so you can have a consignment store or something? Getting your inventory.
Where do you put it?
He's got a garage and a shed. I think that's where he gets it all. What are we at? This looks like downtown.
Yes, that is part of some downtown festival.
I played on this stage before. I just don't know what the backdrop is. I played at Springtime Tallahassee a few times.
That's my good guitar.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
It is.
to zoom in on that one,
It
John.
is gorgeous.
Yeah,
It is a gorgeous guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Has all kinds of inlays.
I've never, the best Gibson I've ever had in my hand would be a Hummingbird, but they just sound fantastic, you know.
This
with,
one
with
has
the age.
such a huge body that it really resonates.
Mm-hmm. Are you a finger picker or a strummer?
I'm a finger picker.
Finger picker, yeah, okay. That's where I started at too. You know, started with Paul Simon and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
Cross Stills Nash, and then I had to learn how to strum. You know.
I'm moderate at everything. Craig is the guitar player. He really should have the better guitar, not me.
We came full circle, I think, on this. This is the guitar you gave to the young lady next door.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
What are you all doing today? I mean, as far as music goes, are you starting to play out again now?
Yeah, we've been playing out actually quite a bit, but within the parameters of being basically outside.
Yeah.
Like we've been playing the Red Shed
Yeah.
because it's a very big open space.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, we would go to Cascades, get up on the stage and just play without amplification. Just get up there and play.
Yeah.
Because on the stage, you're kind of isolated.
Mm-hmm.
And it kept us going. It was really hard not playing.
Well, I can understand that, you know. Actually, I have a picture of an old guitar player and I standing on the stage at Swanee River, and it's real tight up on the sign. We got our guitars and everything, but if you were to back up, you'd see us in the middle of the day and there was nobody there.
We have pictures from those situations too.
So, yeah, we played the Swanee.
Yep.
So you're going to get back out and start playing again. We're doing
Oh,
the
yeah.
same thing, only open aired, you
Yes.
know. I don't want to play inside right now. I don't know why. I mean, I'm protected, but I still, you know, age and vulnerabilities.
Well, and there's also other variants that can come along.
Yeah.
This is a moving thing.
yeah,
we
it's a
don't
moving
know what's
target.
going to exactly, and we know we want to be alive when it moves on.
Oh, yeah. I got more things to do, you know.
I know, more
I-
songs to write, more places to play.
All these people that say, well, I shouldn't knock it. They say they want to retire and fish and stuff. I just can't see that. I said, the only thing I would do if I retire is I'd just play more gigs, you know.
I know. I know.
I trade my office for a recording studio or something.
I've always liked work.
Yeah, me too.
You know,
I
it's
like
not
to
a
work.
dirty word. I
No.
like to work.
Especially working at something you like, you
Mhm.
know.
Like the editing, like the music. It's,
I'm just not good at writing songs. I would really admire that, you know.
I don't know if I'm good at it either. I think they just appear. I just think I've somehow found my way into the room where all the unwritten songs are stored.
Well, if you write enough, though, I mean, it's got to be like anything else, you know. You write 10 songs, maybe one of them's good. You know, as far as, when I say good, what does that mean?
You
Commercial?
do get better at it. You do get better at it, I think.
Yeah, and you got to have a hook, and it's got to be fun, you know, it's catchy.
But the thing is that at least for me, I never think about, do I have a hook? Is it catchy? It just comes. And
You're almost like a Joni Mitchell writer, you know.
I'm like an idiot savant.
Yeah. No, but she writes a lot of stream of consciousness. it seems to
Exactly.
me.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
Craig and I over the years have gotten very good at singing together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that takes a long time.
It takes a huge amount of time. Now, you think I'm silly, but there's an old-fashioned thing called biorhythms. We used to get the charts back in the late 60s, early 70s. You do your biorhythm to see what your curve was. And I told the guys in the band, I said, you know, we can get together, we can just jam, it'll be okay. I said, but it's not going to be really good until we spend enough time together where we all understand each other rhythmically, you know, emotionally, and then it'll be really good.
Yep.
You know, because somebody will do something and everybody like, let's go right with them, you know, because they know where they're going.
Exactly.
And they're so tight right now. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And during the pandemic, we kept practicing.
Mm-hmm.
And both of us started taking vocal lessons during the pandemic from Therese with cello. And she's fabulous. And we are both singing way better than we did before we started.
I think so, absolutely. I think you must have to do that.
Yeah.
I asked one time if the lady would give me vocal lessons. She said no. Well, she's a friend of mine, you know.
You should check out Therese. She's so good.
Yeah, but because there's certain things I would like to learn to do that I don't do well. I mean, just to sing by myself, I think I do really quite well at that. But harmony is something I would love to get better
And
at.
the other thing is, you don't know it, but you probably have some really ingrained bad habits
Oh, I'm certain I
that
do.
you could, that if you fix them, you would sing way better.
Yeah, I grew up playing Elvis Presley, you know? And that's always a problem because everybody says, "Oh, it's the blues. You got to come in after the beat." Well, I grew up playing Elvis, where you sing into the beat. you start on 4.5 and slide into 1. you know. Well, I appreciate you coming over today.
thank you.
Is there anything last thoughts you want to leave with people when they watch this, other than come check us out?
Come check us out. Come
Are
check us
you
out.
guys you listed anywhere? Where can they find you?
We have Craig can tell you more about this, because Craig is, in addition to being a great guitar player, songwriter, singer, he does all our PR.
Oh, okay.
We've got tons of stuff, videos out there that you can look at, and a lot of them are beautiful, with beautiful photography.
Okay. Well, we're
Not
gonna
of
link-
us, of other things.
Yeah. Well, no, we're going to link to those for sure,
Great.
and you got a website,
Mm-hmm.
so we're going to link to that also. But are you guys publishing a Limelight or a Facebook or something like that?
We're all over those.
You're all over this. So
Craig gets us in everywhere. Craig is the most persistent promoter in the world.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna we'll put everybody check out Facebook. Go and find out where you guys are playing, and go check it out because I'm going to.
Oh, excellent. Good.
Well, thank you. Very appreciate it.
you.
Much, my J.D. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.